The first instance of the sphere would be the hand sphere. You can imagine a ball in front of you, and we'll be doing circles around that sphere in 3 different variations. I'm going to start with a very simple going around from this angle, from here and here. So I'm going this way with my hand. Notice that my body is doing the work, not just my hand. My hand is just encompassing the sphere in this direction and in this direction. The shoulder blade, the chest, the shoulder again, the elbow and the hand, the wrist are all doing work in this degree. I'll show you the other hand from different directions and from here. As you can see, I'm following this line, sort of parallel to the ground, only slightly higher. So from here, one direction, other direction. One direction, other direction. It's also a very healthy movement to do, but besides that it's also very good for certain applications. I'll show now with a rigger's knife, which gives 2 variations of the movement. Here, if let's say there's an object that I encounter, I can go around it in 2 degrees, or from 2 degrees in this direction, which means that I can cover that parallel, not just in this direction, in this direction. As you can see, I'm sort of cutting and pulling toward me at the same time. However, what I'm also doing is going around that object as I'm on it. I'll show it again. If this is the sphere, I'm going around the sphere, and the rigger's blade, this is called a marling spike, this is just a rope cutting blade. It shows the 2 directions and how they can work together. So from here, if there's an object, I can go and encompass it while I'm at the same time moving at several directions and not submitting force of resistance, especially when I'm in a blade-on-blade encounter, which I should avoid anyway. But here, if something comes towards me, I can encompass it, doesn't matter where it's coming from. Now the second hand sphere will be perpendicular to the ground. So from here it's this circle. I'm not going to be cutting this way necessarily, but when I meet something I can go around it and around it. I'll show with the sphere first from here. Go around, go around. I'll show without the blade. This is for hand-to-hand application if you get to that. If someone tries to take your parking spot, like so, or with the other side from here. Now, with the blade, if I'm, let's take it, go back here, something encounters me, I go around it, but not just around it, using it as a point of reference. I have a whole sphere of reference with this movement, where I can do things with either side of my hand. And if I take one of my tiny scalpels, I can do the same with the blade itself. So from here, if I meet something, I go around, I go around, I go around, I go around, like so. So blade on blade, you go around it. I'll take another blade for that. 2 scalpels, and when they meet, I don't want a blade on blade action, I damage both blades. So from here, as you can see, it goes, encompasses it, continues, and all while we're going through it. Now, as this goes, if this is on the ground in this direction, if this is my line, so if I'm going towards it, as you can see, if I'm just going towards it, it's going to be some form of meeting anyway. However, if from here, I'm walking, this is walking, moving towards each other, changing of the angle allows me to continue. Just like in swordsmanship, you want to keep your blade for the next fight, you don't necessarily know where and when it's going to be. Last sphere on this angle, we're going back to the ball. We've covered the parallel to the ground, we've covered the perpendicular. Now we have something that is parallel to our bodies, depending on the angle. So from here, I'm going around the sphere in this direction, around the sphere in this direction. sort of like a wall in front of me. Again, from here, in this direction, in this direction. Now, without the ball, from here I'm going around, see here, and here I need to shift my hand, or I can from here, or I can also do this on the squat position, see here, I'm turning. So I'm adjusting, even if I'm taken, from here I'm adjusting with everything that I have, and not just with the regular sphere. Now I'll show the same thing from the side, from here. This is my wall, I'm covering the wall. From here, see, this is the end of my movement. I need to correspond by turning it. Here I am corresponding by turning it. Edge and turning. If I'm being held in some direction, just like a, let's say an Aikido hold or wrestling hold, from here, you can just adjust with that. I'll show the same thing with the two-ended blade. From here, from this position, something encounters, I can go around in this way, around in this way. So I am moving, but I am centerless, because the sphere is also moving in space itself. So from here, I'm showing the hand outside of myself because it's easier to see, but in effectuality it's much easier to work closer to yourself or to project in some way. So if something comes towards me, I don't want to extend necessarily to hit that point of the stick, because the other edge can come to me. Instead, it's much easier to come and correspond to something closer to myself. So the demo should not be taken as a word of gospel anywhere, but here, as something comes towards me, I don't want to extend to it. So from here I'm blading out and sliding out, sliding. Now, again, going back to the sphere, from here I'm going around one. This is the center, and now let's do that while we're moving. Going two, turning the center, turning myself. More windy today than I thought it would be. Turning with the other hand, going around the sphere, and enjoying myself. Now, let's show just the hands, and from there we'll see where we can go. So from here, this is more of a health practice. I'm going this sphere parallel to the ground. I'll show from the side. So from here you're going around the orbs. You can relax your knees a bit, or you can do it to the sides. From here, it's also more healthy for your shoulder blades and for general motion, like so. You can bring the orbs closer to you, and then you have more work done relaxing and feeding the movement in the upper back. Or you can do it below, where you're more working with the shoulders, as you can see here. You can play with it any way you like. Then we'll go over the sphere that is perpendicular to the ground. Let's say one hand here, one hand here. As you can see, I'm shifting it. So whatever comes, I'm always able to work with that. I'm not stuck at a certain point. And last one, parallel. Parallel. I'm moving it as I'm moving it on, like so. These are the three spheres of the hand. Of course, they do not manifest by the hand itself, it's just that the hand sort of caresses it, creates it, manifests in space. It can be done with a knife, it can be done with a stick. For example, here, if I'm holding a stick, if something comes my way, I can here orbit out and continue to work with that. So the movement is done parallel and moves with me. The most important thing to take from this is that you control your movement by the combination of your body awareness, your mind, and your direction. And if you are able to move in all shapes and movements, move in space and go with things instead of against them or guided by them, you'll have a lot more freedom in your life and perhaps a bit more success. Thank you.